And I realized real fast that, this flipping business just ain't all what's cracked up to be, because you go from being rich to poor practically overnight. Or a hurry up and wait game. We're going to hurry up and fix it, and then we're going to wait for it to sell. And there wasn't any security in that for me either. I was just waiting for a house to sell as my money started to run low. So I started figuring out, well, maybe what I need to do is get into holding rentals. So I started holding rentals. I started going out and I learned all the no money down techniques, how to take over somebody's mortgage without going and getting approved for conventional financing. And I started collecting houses. And then something very important happened to me. I made it possible for a perfect storm to come and wipe me out. I'm sitting there with about 10 rental properties. And I don't know about you, but what I realized real fast was, okay, a typical rental property, the payment might be $750 or $800 on it. But I might only be able to rent it out for $1,000 a month. So them numbers are upside down. And what happens if I go out and I get 10 properties and 5 of them open up at the same time? Well, where's my money coming from to pay for them mortgages until I get them filled again? And I see so many different investors come into the meeting and they'll stand up and they'll say, yeah, I bought a no money down system 2-3 years ago, and within 2 years I had $2.4 million worth of real estate. In 6 months I lost it all. So that just showed me, I was like, wow, my perfect storm came in. I had 5 of them open up at the same time. My wife's got a chiropractic office over here that's brand new. She's like, look, I can't afford to be funding these things for you. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to come up with cash flow. So what I do, I had to make a hurry-up decision. I ran out. I created myself 2 different companies, Best Way Electric and Best Way Heating and Air. Because I had a bunch of rentals now, and I knew different HVAC guys who would go out and field the calls and turn over business for me so I could make extra money that way, just to increase my cash flows coming in. Well, what that did is it helped me weather the storm. And then I was smart enough to say, okay, well, I'm going to start putting my money into mobile homes. So mobile homes is a different story now. I might rent one out. My average rent was $350 a month. But how much do I pay when they're not paying me? I just pay lot rent. Might be $200, $250. You see how the numbers are different? All right? Okay. So I started holding mobile homes, and maybe $350 isn't a whole lot of money to receive and be receiving from a rental property every month, but it's just as much as what you're going to get off most houses. But then you go ahead and take that, you times it by 10 mobile homes. Okay, well, how much is 10 going to pay me? Now I'm looking at $3,500 a month. Well, a lot of people, that's all they make is $3,500 a month. Quite a few of them out there, a lot of professional teachers, police officers. But yet I don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. Now, the way that I did that is I started doing rent-to-own mobile homes. Now, rent-to-own mobile home, what that does is it allows me not to have to do any maintenance on the property. Like, I know a bunch of guys around here that's went out and they've collected lots of mobile homes over the years, and what they do is they create a full-time job for themselves unstopping people's toilets. I'm like, well, that just doesn't add up into my quality of life. Unstopping toilets for a living. So I said, well, we're going to do rent-to-own. That way I'll just warrant the major things in the property for 30 days, and after that, it's their responsibility. Now, as far as seller financing is concerned, I'm not financing anybody. I'm not doing any type of financing. Essentially, I'm just telling them, hey, I'll rent it to you for this certain time period. At the end of the time period, I'll hand you the title. Nothing illegal about it. You can rent for anybody you want to and hand them the title when it's done. But what that does is it allows me not to have to foreclose on someone. You know the hassles. There's a lot of people out here that use financing as a constant business activity, whether it be Caramy Village is seller financing land for $500 down, or you got rent-to-own centers that will do a bed or TVs, what have you, and they have to foreclose just as a normal means of business. But I was thinking about, well, what happens if I got to foreclose? If this is going to take me 6 months to a year, or even up to 2 years to get somebody out of my property, I'm going to be losing a lot of money. So you just keep it to the rental, and you can do the eviction instead of the foreclosure. Sound interesting? Yep. So 3 years after me really getting in, it's actually 2 years, but it depends on what quality of life I like to speak of. I was making about $3,000 a month after 24 months of doing this. So you can imagine that cash is passive. Comes in post office paychecks. Go to the post office, collect the paychecks, You know, and as I keep doing it, it just snowballs. In the beginning, you're able to go out and buy one at a time. For too long, you're able to buy two at a time. For too long, three at a time. So eventually, you know, I got up to like 30 of them now. And I don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. Do nothing. But I don't want to. Isn't that interesting? And I got a story. I come out to my cul-de-sac, and I'm picking up my paper in the morning. I'm looking around the cul-de-sac, and I'm seeing that everybody's already got up and left in the morning. But how come? Why is that? I guess they all had someplace they had to be, right? Well, what makes me so special? Why am I still sitting here holding my newspaper? For sure, if they knew about this, they would do it. Or would they?